fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have you the bland destruction of Nerdertainment and more. What is this all about? What am I talking about here? I was actually struggling with what to name this video, but what's going on here is I was recently watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the first season here. I hadn't watched it in many years, and I'll probably be bringing this onto the physical media show this coming Wednesday. But I was watching it, and it really made me remember like all the cool stuff that I was really into back in the day. I was really into like Joss Whedon shows. I was really into a lot of his stuff, a lot of his work. Buffy, Angel, Firefly, and these desperately need some better qualities. Like Firefly, man, we need to update these. But I was really into like Joss Whedon stuff, and I felt like he was a nerd like us, and I was super pumped when he got to be able to do Avengers and everything. And also, I was also thinking about how I was also really into Kevin Smith stuff, like Clerks and all that, because these guys really felt like they were nerds like us and everything. And then I started thinking a lot about modern nerdertainment, superheroes, comic books, horror movie. Well, not so much horror movies. I think horror movies are in a good place, but like a lot of modern stuff. It's like everything has become bland and soulless. And then like you think about like they often say don't meet your heroes. Well, I've never met him, but like I think about Joss Whedon and his downfall and how he's actually a very disgusting man it turned out to be, and then how I know a lot of people still like Kevin Smith, and that's fine. I'm not trying to really knock him, but I really feel like Kevin Smith became a corporate Hollywood sellout because I felt like he was so desperate to fit into Hollywood and stay in Hollywood. And now he's doing what they tell him because he's afraid that they'll kick him out instead of being creative. Because it just feels like the creativeness is gone and everything is all algorithmic ones and zeros, modern audience which doesn't exist slop, and it just like it feels like the destruction and blandness of everything, Cracker Barrel and all that, and the logo changes and everything. It just everything just feels bland and just like sanitizes. It feels like nobody has any more creativity or fun or life left in them, and it's just like I was thinking about all this. It's just like all this like growing up, man. I had like Buffy, and then before that, like even earlier in the '90s, because it was like '97. Like even before that, we had like X Files and Twin Peaks, and we had I could remember going to the comic book shop like a lot, and I would buy comic books. I don't really buy comic books anymore because it's all modern day as well. Everything just feels like it's all been run through some kind of bland making machine where it's just like let's strip everything of what made it. Sometimes it's cool to have the little rough around the edges, a little weird, a little creative and everything, and not be so formed. Everything just feels like you must consist to this form and think this way and be this way and go this way and be this way, ones and zeros and blocky, and everything is like when we got to the future, this is not what I imagined. Yeah, I mean, I could see like in the future, I knew we was going to be going down a path that we would have stuff like this. I mean, I'm getting to do YouTube, and this is like very future-esque and everything. But that's like one of the reasons I started this channel was to talk about the cool entertainment that we used to have and everything, and in hopes of also talking about new cool entertainment, what's not that it's not out there. Right, I know some people will always say, "Well, there not everything new is bad and everything." No, not everything new is bad. It's just very much harder to find newer stuff that we really do enjoy and like. It is out there, and I found myself finding more independent stuff that it gives me the flavor of stuff like this because I feel like they're so much more creative or allowing to be creative, whereas like Hollywood and studios is all now run by streamers and tech companies. And I mean, you can see the changes. For better or worse, I know some people like to put down Zaslav, and I know like people like to put down the whole Skydance thing. But for better or worse, I think those people are actually trying to change the ship a little bit. Whether you agree with them or not is one thing, but I do feel like they're trying to change the ship a little bit. Will it work out? Who knows? It's just like even like the whole thing with Cracker Barrel, which I'm not trying to get political or anything like that. It's just like it's so dumb. And then like I even talked about it in the last video with the Sydney Sweeney stuff. It makes you roll your eyes. Is like, okay, you saw a blonde girl in jeans and she's really hot, and somehow that's bad. I get it. I get it. There's people out there that don't like that, won't like it, and that's fine. Because you're allowed to like and dislike whatever you like or dislike. That is absolutely fine. I would never tell anybody that. It's just like the fits people throw, and maybe it's because like I did see this the thing about this guy who is not aware of the social constructs going on in the world today. He didn't know what it, like pronouns and stuff was, and he didn't know what a body count meant and all that. And he's just happy living his life. And I think to myself, we should really be living like that. I think a lot of stuff that's caused this downfall of blandness and soullessness and algorithmic horrible slop of destruction of nerdertainment and stuff like that is because we listen to the people on like social media, which doesn't represent everybody in the world, right? We listen to them, and so they think it must be geared to this way because they're trying everything to fit into a little box, with blandness, one color, one note, no creativity because it might offend somebody out there. And heaven forbid if you offend somebody. And which I'm not trying to offend anybody, but people will be offended. Period. Like I'm like one of the most vanilla people on here on YouTube, I think, and I'm not even the best. I don't even think I talk that well. I don't even think I make that great videos and everything. And I try my best not to offend people, and I try my best just to be me. I'm just being me and being honest how I think and how I feel. And there will be somebody who will be offended, and I've offended people, and people have left me some really nasty comments and everything. But at the end of the day, this is me. This is who I am, and I'm going to stay me. I'm going to stay, try to be me, and I'm going to stay to try to be creative and everything. Because like I was just like thinking about all this stuff, like how times really have changed, and how it feels like in this era that we live in, everything has sort of become stagnant, soulless, bland, and just I don't know, man. I don't know really where I was going with this video. I doubt this video is even going to catch on. I do. I just do. I really don't know where I was going with this. I was just watching Buffy and I was thinking to myself, man, there was a time when Joss Whedon was like one of the coolest nerds and Kevin Smith was one of the coolest nerds and they were delivering this entertainment. Then I also was also thinking about James Cameron, who warned us of AI with Terminator, and now he's a big proponent of AI and he's going down that path of AI, and it just that feels wrong to me. That feels really wrong to me that the guy that warned us about AI is that, and like somebody like Kevin Smith who created such cool stuff and felt like one of us is, it's so very Hollywood and corporate now, and it made a horrible He-Man TV series, and then like Joss Whedon who was like, man, he created Buffy. Like that was like you talk about like modern women heroes and stuff. Like this was for everybody. Everybody got into Buffy. She's like this kick-ass woman hero. Guys was into it, girls were into it, and then also you got the cool series Angel, and then eventually you got Firefly, and I know there was Dollhouse and everything and like that, and then he got to be Avengers, and it's like turns out he's not a very good person. He was a very disgusting person, it turns out. And it's just like it's so much has changed and so much has fallen, and so much of what I liked and enjoyed. Like I can still enjoy this stuff. I can still enjoy this stuff. I still do. I still like it and watch it and rewatch it and everything and all that. It feels there's it just doesn't feel right anymore in today's world. I miss stuff like that. I miss the creativity. I miss the passion. I miss the nerdiness. I miss taking chances and swinging for the fences. And I think a lot of that is still being seen in the horror genre, which is why I wanted to mention that, because the horror genre still feels very relevant. I still feel like people are taking swings with that, and it's succeeding more so than anything else. You can clearly see the superhero. I don't know if it's superhero fatigue or whatever you want to call it, but it's clearly people are done with superhero movies. They want to move on, and clearly people are wanting original stuff that sort of like Weapons and Sinners and stuff like that. They want stuff like that, and that's why I think horror will continue to be creative and unsoulless and everything. But at the same time, there's still like some soulless horror and stuff out there, and it's just I really don't know where I'm going with this. I just was thinking about stuff like that and how I don't buy comic books anymore. I don't really watch a lot of TV shows anymore. I'm still into movies. I still find some new movies. I've actually found a little more new movies here lately than I had in a long time. But it just feels like yes, and some of it is I've grown up. I've changed and everything, but also I see some of it and it just feels like it's a very square, soulless, algorithmic, uh, trying to cater to everyone and not catering to anyone at the same time, and just it doesn't feel right. It feels like the soulless destruction of Nerdertainment and so much more. But let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comment section down below, and any thoughts, comments. Maybe you can help me figure out where I was going with this video. But I thank you for your time, and leave me some thoughts and comments. And if you like this you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hitting that bell for notification. That'd be awesome for earning you guys' subscriptions, or possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here and for all of your support. And to everybody watching, whether you like me, hated me, or like this video, or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. I really do, because I rambled on a little bit, and I don't know if I ever made a point, but I thank you for sticking this long. And wherever you all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And always support physical media, because it truly is the superior format now more than ever. Godspeed.